Imagine yourself as a sailor navigating through the tumultuous seas of life. The waves are rough and choppy, and the winds are howling fiercely, threatening to capsize your small ship at any moment. Despite these challenges, you remain steadfast at the helm, steering your vessel with unwavering determination. This is the incredible power of Stoicism, which is the practice of cultivating an unbent and bridled mind, as Marcus Aurelius described it. By mastering this mindset, you can face life's challenges with greater resilience and composure. You can remain calm and centered during difficult times, knowing that you have the inner strength to weather the storm. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to let go of what we cannot. It encourages us to accept reality as it is and to find meaning in our struggles. By adopting a Stoic mindset, we can learn to view difficult situations as opportunities for growth rather than as insurmountable obstacles. Our story begins in ancient Greece, where a former slave named Epictetus became one of the most influential Stoic philosophers. Despite being lamed by his cruel master as a youth, Epictetus never let the difficulties of his external circumstances disturb his internal freedom and tranquility. Sickness is a hindrance to the body, but not to the will, unless the will consent, he taught. With an indomitable spirit forged by Stoic principles, Epictetus showed that no matter how violently the storms of life may toss you, you can remain an unshakable island of calm rationality and emotional resilience. This is the extraordinary promise of Stoicism, to cultivate a powerful inner citadel that is impregnable to the chaos of external events. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore 12 key principles from Epictetus that will allow you to master your mind, manage your emotions, and achieve true peace and freedom, no matter what turbulence you face. Let's begin. Number 1. Face difficulties with courage. Difficulties reveal a person's true character. The greater the challenge, the more glory in overcoming it. Skilled pilots earn their reputation from navigating storms and tempests. Having a clear purpose and strong principles can make even the most challenging situations seem less daunting. On the other hand, without this inner guidance, any storm can easily sweep you off course. Picture being lost at sea during a storm with no sense of direction, every wave feeling like it will capsize your ship. However, an experienced sailor with a clear understanding of the charts and a steadfast goal remains determined, viewing each wave as just another obstacle to overcome on the way to their destination. The key is to reflect deeply on what matters most to you, your core values, life goals, and reasons for living. Once you've identified your firm purpose, nurture and protect it by remaining diligent and persevering with unwavering commitment. This purpose becomes your anchor in the stormiest of seas, giving you the courage to face any adversity. As Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Number 2. Mind over opinions. What is the first business of one who practices philosophy? To get rid of self-conceit. For it is impossible for anyone to begin to learn that which he thinks he already knows. We wouldn't dream of handing control of our body over to a stranger. Yet all too often we easily surrender our thoughts, emotions, and inner peace over to the random opinions of others. When criticized or insulted, do you find yourself internalizing and stewing over the comments, allowing them to rob you of your tranquility? Stoicism teaches that we always have a choice in how we receive and process external events. We cannot avoid others judging us, but we can remain forever unaffected by training our mind to put those evaluations into wise perspective. As Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, struggled with social anxiety due to his self-consciousness about his appearance. His mentor, Crates, devised a plan to help him overcome this fear. He instructed Zeno to carry a large cauldron of soup across town, knowing that Zeno would be embarrassed by the attention. As Zeno attempted to sneak through back roads, Crates intervened and spilled the soup in front of onlookers. Despite Zeno's embarrassment, Crates pointed out that no real harm had befallen him and that people would soon forget the incident. The Stoics understood the natural tendency to be self-conscious, but actively practiced not being ashamed by the judgments of others. For example, Cato, a Stoic philosopher, deliberately dressed plainly and went bareheaded and barefooted to inoculate himself against caring too much about societal opinions. This practice gave him the strength to stand alone and do what he believed was right, even when facing opposition from others. Rather than impulsively reacting, pause and ask yourself, whose thoughts are you putting in the driver's seat of your mind right now, yours or theirs? Like a masterful baker who tunes out all external noise and simply focuses on perfecting their craft one loaf at a time, simply return your attention to living with excellence according to your values. No one can hurt you without your consent because you alone decide what to internalize. Number 3, the art of love, enmity. If anyone tells you that such a person speaks ill of you, don't make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, he does not know my other faults, else he would not have mentioned only these. Even the most spiritually realized sage cannot control the thoughts and actions of others towards them. We all face criticism, insults, and conflict at times, regardless of how ethically we strive to live. But as Epictetus reminds us, we always retain full command over how we choose to respond. Reacting to negativity with more negativity only breeds further toxicity. Like dunking a raging fire with kerosene, it inflames the cycle of hostility. The Stoic path is to meet anger and hatred with patience and gentleness, starving the flames of conflict of any oxygen to keep burning. The deeper wisdom here is cultivating a true understanding of yourself, your core principles, motivations, and causes. When you are grounded in this centered self-awareness, the words and deeds of others cannot shake your inner composure and clarity. With the strength of patience and a soft heart of forgiveness, you can disarm those who attack you without resorting to retaliation. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Number 4, transform perspective, transform experience. People's minds are not disturbed by things themselves, as things are neither good nor bad. What really troubles people are the opinions they form about those things. In one of the most famous Stoic parables, a soldier complains to Epictetus about being treated unfairly and unjustly by a superior officer. Epictetus replies, "So when the officer's rude words strike your body, what prevents you from bearing these words?" The soldier answers that there's nothing which prevents him from enduring these words. "Then why do you bear them ill?" Epictetus continues, "Why, when someone forms an opinion about you and nothing more, do you choose to make yourself a captive?" The lesson to learn here is that the event itself is neutral. It's just a few vibrations of sound waves in the air. Our negative reactions are born from the meaning, judgment, and significance we attach to those words. For example, a stone thrown at us by a stranger will elicit a far different response than one thrown in jest by a loved one. However, the stone itself did not change, only our perspective shifted. Stoicism teaches us to transform our perspective on hurtful events. By adjusting our evaluations, assumptions, and focus, we can find positive meaning and opportunity in any circumstance. This doesn't mean we deny or suppress our emotions, but rather that we learn to control them. By doing so, we can remain calm and composed in any situation, and nothing can disturb our peace. It's like being an alchemist, turning base metals into gold. Number 5, the cure for fear and shame. Don't fear the towering rage of the storm, but beware of the insidious smugness that has led you to drift. Take control of your situation and face it head on. You have the power to overcome any challenges that come your way. Behind every gripping fear and painful experience of shame lies a core delusion that your worth, security, and dignity stems from circumstances and achievements which lay beyond your control. Whenever we pour our sense of self-respect into colors that can so easily be rearranged like reputation, titles, possessions, and praise from others, we trap ourselves into perpetual angst. The Stoic path frees us by revealing that virtue, character and dignity originate solely from within our command over our mentality and actions. As Epictetus succinctly put it, if you desire the path, there is no better road than to study the great disciplines of nature. Are you feeling weighed down by fear and shame? Remember, you have the power to overcome these emotions and emerge stronger than ever before. All you need to do is face your emotions honestly and openly. By doing so, you'll be taking the first step towards living a more fulfilling life. It's important to remember that your worth comes from within you, not from external factors. Embrace your unique qualities and don't let anyone or anything make you feel otherwise. Lastly, devote yourself to living with integrity and resilience. By doing so, you'll be building an unshakable foundation of self-respect that will carry you through any challenge that comes your way. The power of shame diminishes when you realize that your worth is not determined by the opinions of others. Fear loses its grip when you recognize that you already possess everything you need to live a fulfilling life. Your self-respect cannot be shaken by external circumstances because it is rooted in your virtues, not in fragile conditions. Number 6. Anticipate obstacles, master adversity. Mastering the art of making all circumstances prosperous is an essential skill for anyone seeking to achieve success in life. He is an ill-educated person who has not studied the art of making all circumstances prosperous. Venturing into the wilderness can be a thrilling experience, but preparation is key to ensuring a safe and enjoyable journey. A skilled guide will map out the terrain, anticipate potential hazards, and gather the necessary provisions. This level of preparedness is not born out of fear, but rather a wise readiness. By facing obstacles with a calm and pragmatic approach, hikers can tackle any challenge with confidence and come out stronger on the other side. Stoics spend time each day visualizing potential setbacks, failures, losses, and misfortunes follows a similar principle. This helps them prepare for difficult situations and develop plans for how to respond. This practice helps them stay calm and focused when problems do arise. By thinking about worst-case scenarios ahead of time, they are able to face challenges without feeling overwhelmed or afraid. This way, they can approach obstacles with a clear mind and a sense of purpose. Number 7. The unconquerable will. It is not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. A Roman prisoner was once brought before the philosophical emperor Marcus Aurelius, having committed a crime punishable by death. Rather than respond with rage or reproach, Marcus simply asked the man, "What led you to commit this act?" After some hesitation, the prisoner replied, "A shabby overcoat. I needed clothing to stay warm in winter's cold and could find no source of income." Without a word, Marcus removed his own robe and instructed the guards to give it to the prisoner as compensation for his crime. The emperor understood that no external circumstance, no words or actions done to us hold any power to disturb our wills and virtues, unless we choose to internalize them as such. In every moment we get to consciously choose the frame of perception we wish to adopt towards any experience or behavior from others. Someone cuts you off in traffic. You have the power to decide how much importance to. You can choose to let it go as a minor issue that has no power to harm you, or you can allow it to deeply affect you. Remember that the choice is always yours. Number 8. Self-restraint for inner peace. In most good things, not to advance is to go backward. Whenever faced with criticism, insult, or mistreatment from others, our instinctive human reaction is to lash out with harsh words or actions in return. Like a craving for junk food, the adrenaline-fueled impulse to fight fire with fire wells up mightily in our limbic brain. Yielding to that instinct may feel cathartic in the heat of the moment, but it sows seeds of ongoing conflict, suffering, and regret. By contrast, the Stoic path is one of self-restraint and circumspection. Like a tantrum-throwing child, our first reaction to provocation need not be our defining one. We can hit the pause button in our minds and intentionally choose to meet anger with composure, hostility with reason. When we delay our response even for a minute, it creates gaps that allow us to evaluate the purpose of retaliating. Is our goal to achieve positive resolution and growth, or are we simply indulging our ego's desire to seek revenge? This approach invests our identity in cheap vindictiveness and may not serve a virtuous purpose. Therefore, it's important to carefully consider our actions before lashing out. Instead of arguing, responding passive-aggressively, or sinking to pettiness, we can simply absorb the energy behind the attack and move forward. We don't need to justify ourselves or validate the antagonism with highlighted acknowledgement. By restraining our fight-or-flight response, we starve the conflict of any oxygen to inflame further and safeguard our inner peace from being hijacked by passing trivialities. True strength lies in self-mastery, not reckless reactivity. Number 9. The power of acceptance. Circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself. We've all felt the frustration of fighting circumstances beyond our control. When we're faced with a situation we can't control, it's natural to feel anxious, angry, or sad. But when we spend our energy trying to fight against things we can't change, we're wasting valuable time and effort. Instead, we can choose to focus on what we can control and work towards making positive changes in our lives. Being stoic means recognizing what we can and can't control. Rather than getting upset about things we have no power over, we direct our attention towards the things we can influence. This helps us make progress towards our goals and live a more fulfilling life. Imagine getting terribly lost while driving. You can kick the steering wheel in frustration over your navigational errors, or you can open your mindset to finding the best path forward from your present circumstances. One approach is wasted circular spinning, the other resolute adaptability and solution-seeking. By accepting situations we cannot change, we save our finite supply of energy from being drained by fighting inevitable realities. More crucially, this openness unveils opportunities for creative response within the new context. With a mindset stubbornly fixated on what should or shouldn't be, we blind ourselves to potential paths beyond our limiting assumptions. When we face a situation that we cannot change, we can either resist it or accept it and work towards making the most of what we have. It's like when we receive a medical diagnosis that we cannot change. We can either spend time being angry and denying the reality, or we can accept the situation and focus on improving our quality of life. Accepting our circumstances can also help us reach our full potential. Number 10. Living harmoniously with nature. To find peace and happiness, we must rely on our own minds instead of external circumstances. This means not being affected by good or bad events and instead focusing on our own thoughts. Epictetus, the renowned philosopher of the Stoic school, taught us that the key to a fulfilling life is to live in harmony with the natural laws and order of the universe. By aligning our thoughts, emotions, values, and actions with our true nature, we can create a seamless existence that's free of inner conflicts and disruptions. It's important to not place too much value on external rewards and neglect our internal development. Focusing only on material possessions and temporary pleasures can leave us feeling spiritually empty. True fulfillment comes from living with reason, self-control, wisdom, and fairness. Trying to control everything and obsessing over our desires can lead to disappointment and anxiety. By keeping a broad perspective, we can remain calm even when things don't go our way. Living in harmony with nature means seeing every situation as part of a larger plan. We should avoid labeling things as misfortunes or evils unless we truly believe that they are. By embracing this wisdom, we can remain steady even during life's most challenging moments. Number 11. Negative visualization. When we visualize things that make us crave them too strongly, or when we feel let down by our expectations, it disrupts our peace of mind. So we should be mindful of such objects and try to maintain our mental calmness. We're wired to quickly adapt to our privileged circumstances and expect their perpetual permanence a foundational cause of anger, anxiety, and despair. Imaginatively rehearsing losing the very comforts we take for granted reminds us that our treasures may be impermanent fortunes, never entitled rights. The modern suburban father might vividly envision his lovely home being repossessed, forcing his family into transitional housing. The high-powered executive may mentally walk through being downsized and unemployed. The healthy young adult may simulate developing a debilitating illness or injury. These words are not meant to be dark or pessimistic, but rather to help us build the mental strength and resilience we need to face life's challenges. By accepting that everything we hold dear is impermanent, we can prepare ourselves to handle loss and change with grace and steadfastness. In doing so, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and contentment that allows us to appreciate the present moment without becoming attached to it. This enlightened mindset frees us from the fear and desperation that can come from clinging to what is fleeting, and instead allows us to find joy and fulfillment in the journey itself. Envisioning the worst-case scenario can be a powerful tool for cultivating unbreakable inner peace. By mentally preparing ourselves for the loss of what we hold dear, we can confront our fears head-on and emerge stronger for it. This way, when life inevitably throws us a curveball, we can face it with calm and clarity, knowing that what truly matters can never be taken from us. Number 12. Finding the peaceful refuge within. Be prepared with a wealth of principles to draw upon, so that when faced with fear or temptation, you may have the resources to rely on and stay true to your rational self. As humans, it's natural for us to experience overwhelming situations that can shake our poise and composure. However, even during these moments, we can always turn to our internal reserve of inspiration, wisdom, and perspective to recalibrate our rationality. By grounding ourselves in our deepest truths and unshakable convictions, we can find refuge within our own souls and emerge stronger and more resilient than ever before. Let us hold on to the words that inspire us, be it from holy books, our own writings, or the wise words of our mentors. We should cherish them as the foundation of our soul to keep us calm and centered during times of chaos. Just like a physical army needs communication to move forward, we need these fundamental truths to inspire and remind us of our wholeness and integrity. No matter what comes our way, we can always reset and find our inner peace in these hallowed spaces. The 12 principles of Epictetus are a powerful and timeless guide for facing life's challenges with unshakable resilience and tranquility. By embodying these principles, we can cultivate a deep sense of inner strength and wisdom that helps us navigate life's ups and downs with grace and ease. To achieve inner peace, we must improve our perception. This allows us to take control of our lives and not be controlled by outside circumstances. By doing so, we become the captains of our own destinies.